Anyone who watches or has watched Peppa Pig knows that the show is simple and fun. But did you notice that even so, some animation errors occur throughout the episodes of The Pink Pig? One of these small errors in this famous cartoon worldwide occurs in the episode Power Cut. Right at the beginning, we can see that both Peppa and George are happily dancing to the music emitted by the stereo in the family's living room. And when the family makes a cardboard TV, everyone is having fun and the power suddenly comes back. But that's not the only thing. If you look at the family's stereo, you'll notice that it's now facing the opposite direction from before the power outage. What made this happen? It was probably a small editing error and not some ghost living in Peppa's house. Speed of light. Now let's talk about something really eerie that happened in the episode Ballet. We all know Danny, and we know he's a dog who likes to have fun and play.
Do you want to play ball?
But when we see Madame Gazelle teaching some dance steps, he does something that we can almost say is miraculous. The little character is dancing and jumping, and we can notice that he goes from one side of the scene and simply appears on the other side. We all know that kids are very fast and run a lot, but to do this, Danny would definitely need to run almost at the speed of light, go around the back of the school, and come in through the front door. That seems pretty tiring. Potato errors. Mr. Potato is undoubtedly one of the most intriguing characters in Peppa Pig. After all, he's a conscious vegetable that talks, which in itself is quite strange. And in some episodes, we meet Super Potato, who goes to Peppa's school to save Mr. Potato, who got stuck inside his car. He then uses his super strength to remove the glass lid of the car. The problem is that even before he completely removes the lid, Mr. Potato gets out of the car, passing through the glass lid with his head, which completely goes against the laws of physics. The door. In Chloe's Puppet Show episode, some things caught our attention. For example, when Peppa and her family arrive at Daddy Pig's brother's house, we can see that the door handle is on one side of the door when the family opens it. But when we see the children inside the house, note that it's as if the door has reverse sides, since its handle has moved to the opposite side from what we saw before. The door too. Furthermore, the door mysteriously appeared closed, and when they enter, Chloe's family is by the door, so it should still be open, which is, in this case, a logic error. And if you love Peppa and her family, do this. Comment below #pig so we know who's part of our team of fans of the world's most famous pink pig in cartoons. Color change. In the episode Swimming, right at the beginning, we can see a changing room with 4 doors, each one a different color. And note that Daddy Pig comes out of the first blue door, Mommy Pig from the green door, and Peppa from the yellow door, and George from the red door. And the doors remain exactly like this throughout the episode. But when we get to the end, something incredible happens. The colors of the doors change completely and their order is reversed. And the first door becomes red and the last one blue, and all the colors are reversed. Would this be the upside down world of Stranger Things? Magic spoons. Let's go now to Daddy Pig's birthday episode.
Daddy, I wish you didn't have to work on your birthday.
In it, we see the whole family is involved in making the birthday cake to congratulate Daddy. And we see various ingredients on the table, like milk, eggs, and flour. Also, there's a wooden spoon on the table next to the chocolate pieces that will be used in the cake. Then, Mommy Pig starts putting all the ingredients in a large bowl, and when the scene widens, note that the wooden spoon magically moved from where it was on the table to right next to Peppa's mom. It seems that besides making great cakes, Mommy Pig knows how to do some very interesting magic tricks. Magic spoon 2! And it seems that George also inherited this ability to do magic tricks from Mommy Pig, because right after that, Peppa asks to mix the cake batter, and her little brother is by her side. Now look with me at George's hand, there's nothing in it, but in a split second, a second spoon appears in the little pig's hand. After all, where did it come from? Puppets. Going back to Chloe's puppet show at home, we can notice some more different things, let's say. When Chloe shows the box with the puppet models to be painted, we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 puppets inside, of which Peppa's cousin pulls one out, and we can notice that only 3 remain inside the box. However, right in the next scene, after painting 2 eyes on the puppet she was holding, the box again has 4 puppets inside, and 1 more in Chloe's hand, now totaling 5 dolls. It's kind of like the miracle of puppet multiplication. Puppets 2. The strangest thing is that we see when Chloe takes out the puppet to make the dinosaur puppet that George asks for. The number of puppets in the box changes abruptly once again. This time, going back to having 3 puppets, as it should be, Chloe then takes the puppet to paint as George asked, and only 2 remain in the box. Notice that they are close, side by side. And that's when we notice another mistake happening. When the scene changes angle again, we see that there are still 2 puppets inside the box, but unlike before, now each of them is at one end of the box, which makes no sense. But you know what makes a lot of sense? Subscribing to our channel here. After all, if you're a fan of cartoons just like us, this is definitely your place. Moon! Going now to the episode where George gets a new dinosaur, we realize that Peppa's world is a little different from ours, since besides talking animals and vegetables, celestial bodies tend to disappear quite frequently. When we're in Peppa and George's room, we can see that it's night exactly because we see stars and a moon in the children's room window. But when the scene changes and focuses only on Daddy and Mommy Pig, we realize that the moon that was in the window went for a walk since it disappeared. Sand buckets. In the episode George's Friends, we notice another animation error related to objects that appear and disappear, and in this case, it's about the sand buckets that George and his friend were playing with. We can see that they are there, close to the children. Then, Peppa and Susie start a little argument to defend each of their brothers in the game, and notice that when the image expands again, the 2 sand buckets have disappeared as if they had never been there. Did the boys throw them in the air while none of us were looking at them? Toys! Going back to Chloe's Puppet Show episode, besides that hide-and-seek game of small puppets from the puppet show, we have one more inexplicable thing that happens inside Chloe's room. Note that on the girl's bed there's a stuffed animal that apparently is a panda bear. Besides, we see a ball at the foot of the same bed of Peppa's cousin. But when we get to the part where the children are having fun painting their dolls and puppets, we can notice that both the ball and the stuffed animal have simply disappeared, as if by magic. Soft drink. And it seems that this whole episode was really done by a group of interns, because we found another detail that apparently doesn't make much sense. When the 2 families are gathered to have lunch together, we notice that on the table there are several plates with spaghetti and wine glasses for the 4 adults, and 3 glasses with soft drinks for the children. And notice that the children's glasses are half full, while the wives say that Daddy Pig and his brother are very similar. And while they claim they're not alike at all, when the image expands, we can see that the glasses of the 3 children are completely empty. So surely, the children drank everything while we were looking at the 2 Pig brothers. Or did someone really think it would be too much trouble to put bubbly soda back in the glasses? Magic Spoon 3. Remember the episode of Daddy Pig's birthday we talked about earlier in this same video? Let's go back to it again, because we noticed once again that something wasn't making much sense. After pushing George away a little, Mommy Pig asks Peppa to put the mold underneath so she can put the cake batter into it, which she does. But notice that she pours everything from the bowl. So if that happened, why is it that when Mommy Pig puts the cake in the oven, Peppa appears holding the bowl as if it weren't completely empty? What's more, how did a spoon get back in there again? Certainly, Mommy Pig's kitchen is getting more and more scary. Even with some small errors, Peppa Pig is certainly one of the most well-known cartoons in the children's world. So some small inconsistencies are part of it. It's normal. And if you really love cartoons and animated movies, prove it to us and watch another video here on the channel. To make your choice easier, we've left 2 options for you to choose from on your screen. Just click on the one you prefer.